Hello and welcome everyone to our podcast today. This is the Property Maintenance Show. I'm one of your co-hosts. My name is Paul Quayle. I'm the Director of Operations at Octagon Work Services. And we have Albert Taylor as well. He's our Administrative Director at Octagon Work Services. And we're also both the co-founders of that company as well. All the details will be presented near the end of our podcast episode, each one that we make. We do post all of our information if any property management companies or maintenance vendors are interested in our services. And we're very excited for today's topic, which is we're going to be reviewing some of the one-star Google reviews on some property management companies located in San Diego. We are going to start there with San Diego, and there will be a series of episodes in different counties in the California area, which is mostly what we cover in our services. We are a worldwide service, of course, but at the moment we are focused in California. So we're very excited to get started. Albert, how are you feeling?
Yeah, good. Yeah, we've been holding off on this episode for a while, haven't we?
Yes, we have. Yep, definitely. But today's the day, and we're super excited and ready to get started. So I want to go ahead and read the first review. And as I'm reading this out to all the viewers and listeners, it will appear here on your screen as well. If you're listening by audio, I do apologize. You won't be able to see it, but I'll certainly be reading this out as well. What we'll be doing is we're going to be reading out these reviews, and we're going to be using our property management expertise and background to see if this one-star review is accurate. Did the property management company deserve to get a one-star review? And maybe just dig deeper on why we think this has happened. So let me go ahead and get started here. So this is from someone called Chelsea. I believe she was a tenant there in San Diego. So let me go ahead and read this. Been renting in San Diego for 15 years and have never experienced the type of incompetence, neglect, disrespect, and catastrophicness exhibited by, again, I won't name who they've said there. They took 5 days to fix a broken pipe and tried to send roofers to fix it. Then they failed to start a water extraction for 2 months, even though the drywall was left open with standing water. We demanded air/mold testing because we've been coughing, having chest pains, and swollen mucus, etc. They refused to turn over the test results until I mentioned an attorney. Results revealed 56,000 Aspergillus and I'm not sure what that said there. Penicillium sores. My apologies, everyone. When we then had to demand temporarily accommodations, they tried to put me, my partner, our baby, and my elderly father-in-law in one motel room. 3 months later, and the work is still not done, and they are both bouncing us from one Airbnb to another and refusing to dust test for black mold. Disgusting.
Okay. Oh, that's sad.
All right. So, Albert, I want to start with you. What's your thoughts here on this review? Like, what do you think?
These people are suffering so much for traveling from one Airbnb to the next. It's like, oh, that's terrible. But okay, yeah. I mean, I wish somebody would torture me that way. But okay. Well, I can kind of relate to this. I actually did have a case like this. The owner wasn't approving because he was trying to get his insurance involved and doing all this stuff. And of course, nobody wants to share the test results, right? They're not going to ever say mold. Actually, when we were working, we were prohibited from saying mold ever. I think even in meetings, right? It said say discoloration. That was a code word, discoloration. Yeah.
Yes.
It can kill you. Yeah. But Yeah, so part of this I can understand. I mean, probably the property coordinator probably didn't have like 100% of the fault because they were probably trying to get approval for this job, and I mean, just the owner's just like, oh no, wait, I'm gonna get my insurance and this, and we all know how long insurance takes, right? Yeah, that's like, come on, yeah. So should they use the insurance? I mean, you can never tell them no because they do have their insurance, right? But but yeah, that is a difficult situation, which I've been in myself. Whoop, I think Paul has too. So yeah, not too many ways out of that really. But at least they are giving him an Airbnb, right? So that's pretty nice. They shouldn't really complain about that. It should be at least a 4-star review, I think, because of the effort. But okay, continue, Paul.
Okay. Well, my thoughts on this review is, first of all, for it to get to that stage, right? The way the tenant has described it, it is it's to me it's a 1-star service. You know, it's definitely deserved, I think, if all of this is factual, right? Which normally if a tenant is forced to write a review like this, it is probably quite accurate. Um, I mean, trying to send a roofer to fix a broken pipe
Yeah, yeah.
is quite strange. So I do think maybe the maintenance coordinator failed in that department of sending the wrong person, or they haven't asked for more information to understand the scope of work.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, water extraction for 2 months. Yeah, that's beyond a joke to take that amount of time. Now, if there is the color black, right, for mold, right? So the reason we were told to call it discoloration is because it can only be called mold when it's actually been tested.
Mm.
So once it has been tested and been confirmed it is mold, then we can call it mold. Now, it just really varies. There's different cases for it. Of course, we can't see any pictures to determine how badly it is. We're just basing this off description. Um, I will say this, that, you know, based on, I'm pretty sure the tenant would have sent them pictures. And if they saw it was really bad, then they should have acted on that really quickly. And they should have sent someone to do testing.
Mm.
And again, if the homeowner was being difficult, because most of the time it's the homeowner that's pushing back on these things,
Hmm.
but then it's having to relay to them the lease agreement on terms of discoloration issues or mold, right?
Hmm.
Again, I just think the maintenance coordinator failed in customer service here. Um, Obviously, the tenant's been so frustrated, that's why they've asked for the test results. If things were getting handled in orderly timed fashion, they probably wouldn't have asked for test results, right? Um, they had to mention an attorney, which normally when that happens, they probably would have been panicking, right? That they didn't deal with this and that, you know, an attorney's getting involved. Um,
Hmm.
Eventually, they're then put into temporary accommodation, but it didn't happen immediately, you see. So it looks like it was a bit of a kind of a back and forth before that decision was made,
Hmm.
which really that decision should be made a lot quicker than, you know, 2 months. It sounds like 2 months before they even got a motel room. And it looks like, again, they even said that they had to share, but it does say specifically that they tried to. So I think they tried and the tenant refused that option. And then they've been just jumping from Airbnb.
Mm.
Obviously, I'm assuming getting reimbursed from the homeowner because it wouldn't be the property management company paying for it. It would be the homeowner. Um, but yeah, like 3 months, like for that, uh, yeah, it's just it's bad, definitely bad customer service from the maintenance department. Definitely.
Okay. Well, I went on the defense of the property coordinator. Maybe because I'm thinking in my case, the tenant actually didn't let the vendor in. So the tenant's like, they want the test people to go out. They didn't want the general contractor to go out. So the general contractor is actually going to clean stuff, and he was actually approved, but the tenant wouldn't let him in. So yeah, the tenant was actually delaying that case. In my case, I don't know here, but never know, right?
Well, speaking on this case,
Mm-hmm.
what are your thoughts? Do you think the tenant is in the right to post a one-star review based on the description, or do you feel there's a deeper story? Because I know there's two
Mm-hmm.
sides, right? There's the property management's version and there's the
Mm-hmm.
tenant version.
Right. Yeah.
It's and really the only people that really know the truth
Right.
is the property management company and the owner.
Yeah. I would go on the property management defense, but yeah, that part where you said about the roofers trying to fix a pipe, that is kind of that's iffy. Yeah. Well, it's like what the heck went on there? So yeah, pipe, roof, like totally different things right there, right? So yeah,
Hmm.
okay. I'll go towards the tenant side in this one.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
think it's a point to the tenant because
Mhm.
the tenant, the only reason the tenant would know it's a roofer if they actually asked the vendor, like,
Mhm.
oh, what kind of work do you do?
Yeah, I'm a
And
roofer.
and he's and he's probably said, yeah, I do roofing. So then
Yeah,
the tenant's like,
facepalm.
well, what are you doing here? I mean, I need a pipe fixed, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna clean your
So
ceiling. Yeah.
so she's probably like just bamboozled by the
Mhm.
whole thing, going,
Yeah.
well, what's going on here? Like, why have you sent a roofer to fix a pipe?
Mhm.
So
Yeah, even if the
so
pipe's in
yeah,
the attic, I mean, that's still not like roofing stuff yet.
yeah.
Until the very
So
end, if they're gonna repair the roof after the repair, then
mhm,
maybe.
mhm, yeah. So I think yeah, we're both voting a point to the tenant.
Mhm.
So we'll keep that on the screen, and see, in
Yeah.
the end who's the winner, the property management companies or the tenants.
Mhm. Yeah.
So
If anybody else wants to
that
leave a review, go ahead. A
yep,
review,
definitely.
yeah, comment here on ours, not theirs.
All right, so we're gonna move on.
Mhm.
Albert's gonna read the next one.
Okay, all right, great. Yeah, I have a great one here from about 6 months ago. Okay, so used, we'll admit that name, a view to review a rental property in Little Italy. Went on the website and reserved a time. Got an email that I will get instructions on how to enter the property 10 to 15 minutes before the reserved time slot. I got the text message, walked over to the unit from where I was staying downtown to find no lockbox outside of the unit. Called the emergency line and was told to walk 10 minutes away from the property to find the lockbox. Walked 10 minutes to the lockbox, found the lockbox, and there was no key in the lockbox. What an awful experience. I would not recommend using this property management to view units. Worst part was I am moving from Denver to San Diego. I was in town for a few days for a work trip, so now I'm unable to view the property. That is bad timing. All right. I think there's quite a few of these. What do you think, Paul?
Wow,
Yeah.
wow, that is
Wow.
bad. I would say it's
Mhm.
bad coordination
Mhm.
with the property management company in-house, right? So this is more leasing agent linked, where the leasing agent's responsibility is to put that key in there.
Mhm.
And when there's potential tenants wanting to view the property, it's the leasing agent's responsibility to give the correct instructions where the lockbox is located.
Yeah.
Now, with that being said, they did say they were getting a text message, but I'm assuming it's a generated one.
Mhm. Yeah. For Mapfolio, they generate those.
So it's not like it's not handwritten, it's not personalized, it's all generated by the looks of it. The fact that they called the emergency line and they were told to walk 10 minutes, they should have known, and it should have been, either it was noted in Appfolio if they are using Appfolio, but normally that is the number one go-to for property management companies, to store all their information using a CRM software.
Mhm.
So it would have been noted there by the leasing agent if the key was still at the office, right? Because normally the keys are at the office when a property's vacant, it's out for rent, then the key goes in the lockbox. It could be the person that took the phone call, they researched it, they didn't do their due diligence and looked to see, oh, there's no key. Instead, they've instructed the potential tenant to walk
Mhm.
10 minutes to this lockbox where there's no key. So I think just bad communication in-house could be the reason. It could be there was still a unit turnover in process and the key wasn't put back yet. Could be a vendor had the key, maybe didn't put it back. So a lot of different scenarios why the key wouldn't be there. But I think, again, it is definitely a one-star review. That shouldn't be happening. A key should also always be in the lockbox if a property's ready, rent ready.
Mhm.
Definitely. And what about you, Albert? What do you think?
Okay. Yeah, actually from this one I got some really good insight into this property management company. I mean, like you said, it's super easy with the CRM software to keep track of stuff like this. And when I was in the Oklahoma market, they would actually have like a WhatsApp group, and they would real time say, "Yeah, I left the key here. The key's over there. Lockbox code is this and that." I mean, there was no, absolutely no excuse for anything like this. Yeah, this says tons about the company, what their structure is, and I could just imagine all the employees like waiting till like 5 p.m. to like rush for the door. They're like, okay, this isn't my responsibility anymore. I'm leaving. That kind of mentality, like, okay, my time's up. Somebody else's problem. So that's my take on it. Kind of like, yeah, they don't have time to keep track of a key. I mean, can you imagine anything else? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just bad coordination,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, the leasing agent should have got told off by the president about that, or they're just not the best leasing agent. Or it could be the odd mistake. Again, I don't want to be too harsh on them because there could have been a number of reasons why the key wasn't in there. But they should have never sent the potential tenant 10 minutes to walk,
Mm-hmm.
knowing that that someone must have known the key wasn't in there. 100%. If they didn't know, nobody knew,
Mm-hmm.
that's just bad, like clear bad. But I solely believe and know for certain somebody knew the key wasn't there. I
Mm-hmm.
just feel that, or they would have known who last took the key out.
Mm-hmm.
They they would have been aware. So I think again, I'm voting another point for a tenant again.
Same
Yeah.
here. Yeah, another point.
Hmm.
Yep. No excuse there.
All right. So let's move on. We're going to read the next review. This is from someone called Todd. Okay, so I'm going to read this out. He says the following. This is the absolute worst management company. They have zero regard for the people's time and well-being. I lived in a property with this management company overseeing it, and there were lies from the beginning, starting with the initial walk of the condo. The advertised heating system never functioned. The heater was replaced last year and now no longer works again. They refuse to make this a priority and allow their tenants to live in a home that gets no warmer than 62 degrees. They want to increase my rent by almost $300 this coming year, yet I'm not a priority and the health and well-being of their tenants is non-existent. If there was another place to relocate to tomorrow, I absolutely would, just for the fact I would not have to deal with these people any longer. Okay, so that was from Todd, roughly 7 months ago. Albert, what do you think here?
Oh, Todd, you crybaby. I feel for you, man. I never understood these people. It's like, okay, if you're suffering that much, you can definitely take a trip to Walmart and get one of those little portable heaters and plug it in and heat up a room or two. I'm like, come on, man. It's like, yeah, I've been in colder places than that, and it's still like, okay, well, yep, just get a little heater and plug it in. You're not going to spend like $1,000 on it. And well, okay, yeah, the property management does have to fix it, right? That's part of what you're paying for with the rent. But yeah, actually, well, commenting on it like that, for me, it's like just a big crybaby. It's like, get over it, buy a heater. Okay, you, Paul.
Okay. Well, this one's quite interesting because if it was advertised at the beginning,
Mm.
it says the advertised heating system never functioned. The heater was replaced last year. So first of all, that should be under warranty.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, vendors I've worked with that have replaced heaters, um, they have.
Yeah, at least a
I
1 year.
mean, a good vendor would give not even one, a couple of years. Like
Mm-hmm.
things like that have a good manufacturer warranty. So
Good point.
I think they were probably working on this to resolve it. It's just with manufacturer warranties, it's kind of a process because they need to know why it stopped working,
Mm-hmm.
and you need to send someone to give provide a full report, and then you need to send it to the manufacturer, and then they get one delivered, I think, to the property, and I don't know if they have techs that install or not. I'm not sure. Sometimes vendors do it on behalf for their client,
Mm-hmm.
but I think the maintenance department were trying to resolve this either by debating with the vendor that installed it, or if it was the case that the homeowner sent one of his own people,
Mm-hmm.
then that's what would have created this delay. But to my knowledge, San Diego's not a cold place, is it?
No, it's not.
So he says no warmer than 62 degrees.
Oh, boo-hoo.
Um, I, in in fairness, I'm assuming he's saying the water heater. No, that kind of is urgent.
Oh,
If it is, because then he's got no hot water, which means that's like urgent.
yeah, but he did say the home
Um,
though. The home gets no warmer than 62 degrees, so that would be a HVAC.
it's probably a HVAC unit then. Well,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So I think we're assuming it's a HVAC unit, which again they have at least a 10-year warranty, and and
Mm-hmm.
I and I'm guessing, I think the homeowners went and got one installed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think
Yeah,
it's property management.
yeah. Then he forgot who the vendor was, and he couldn't get the warranty. And mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a Mickey Mouse
Mm-hmm.
one he's found, and
Yeah.
there's no coverage. That's why when we worked as when I was a maintenance manager and a maintenance coordinator prior to being a manager, um, I would always advise homeowners that, okay, if you're going to use your own person, you should ask for paperwork always. Like get
Mm-hmm.
get yourself a manufacturer warranty, get yourself a labor warranty. Make sure you're covered. So if this happens, or it happens again and they haven't done the best job, it's covered. You're not going to pay twice. So it's always a risk with homeowners. If any homeowners are watching our show, just be very cautious when you're using your own vendors. It probably is recommended to go through a property management company to use a vendor because of coverage. You know, they're insured, they're licensed, and they do have warranty coverages, which can help in the long term. It may cost a little bit more, but sometimes, you know, it's kind of like, for example, with like buying a cell phone. You may pay a little bit extra because you're going to get more gigabytes on the phone or more features, right? The less you spend, the less features you get, the less perks, as they say. So it's probably better to find the middle price is always my recommendation. But Albert, what do you think? You think this deserves to be like a post?
No, I think Todd is definitely a soft dude. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he probably has one of those little French poodles. No. Okay, well, okay, that's a joke. For all those out there who have a French poodle, don't say, "Oh no, he said French poodle." Okay, but yeah, okay. So yeah, I definitely do think it's probably more than 90% a homeowner thing here. Yeah, they went for a Mickey Mouse vendor. Yeah, like Paul said, and Mickey Mouse vendors do not honor their warranties. They don't want that kind of stuff because they charge really cheap. That's why the homeowners go with them. Like, yeah, maybe the real HVAC vendor wanted to charge like $1,000. This one said 300, so they went with this guy, and now we have this. Yeah, the heater going on and on. It's broken, and nobody wants to fix it.
Yeah, I think Todd was too quick to jump to post a bad review. I don't think he gave the property management company enough time to resolve that issue, and it's not an easy fix. Again, if an owner sent their vendor and stuff, yeah, it creates a big problem. And if the owner's tight with money, it's a long process. It could be a week, 2 weeks. But he doesn't state even on the review how long that's been ongoing. It sounds like it just happened and he reacted.
He moved in. And
yeah, Todd, if you're listening, you're out there, I think you're a bit harsh. You acted too quickly. So I'm going to go ahead and vote property management.
I do as well.
All
right.
All right, Albert.
Cool.
Go ahead with the next one.
All right. Well, yeah, the next one is a long one, but it's a good thing I'm a quick reader. All right. So this next one's from 5 months ago. It's now apparent to my husband and I why this property management company has a fictitiously high rating. The majority of the company's ratings come from owners of rental property that have entered into a contract with this company to rent their property to prospective tenants. That's kind of the way it works. But okay, this would be a plausible rating if the same service also applied to the tenants. However, the tenants, we, are the ones who rate the company objectively because we are the ones who experience the low standards of the property management. Amazing how these companies expect tenants to pay a premium price for rent for a substandard service in return. Out of the 25 years my husband and I have rented and bought homes in several states as a military family, we've never encountered the greed or slumlords that exist in San Diego. Clearly, it's all about collecting, managing rent payments for this company, then managing the property. How is it acceptable to turn over keys to a tenant of property when the property has been ill-maintained and filthy? We conducted a walkthrough with Elena, whom we pointed out the deficiencies of the property, and she assured us all would be resolved before our move-in date. This was not the case. We also communicated this with Katie via the residential portal, since we can't seem to get anyone on the phone when we call the office. Our disregard and ignorance as to condition of the property is unacceptable. However, I'm a firm believer of keeping everything in writing. So we'll continue communications over the residential portal to the extent it's warranted. When necessary, we'll take a ride to the office and discuss matters in person. Oh, well, well. This is a special one, isn't it? All
I
right.
think there's a little bit more
Mm-hmm.
there, isn't there?
Ah,
There's,
part two, yeah. Yeah, I almost got to the end, didn't I? Okay, so communication of simple inquiries between the management company and the owner of the property are poor. If owners are satisfied with making a profit, without regard to the quality of life of the tenant, they need to be administratively reprimanded along with the property management company because you both have an equal responsibility to ensure the property is maintained. My husband and I don't tolerate bad business practices, especially at the expense of our well being. So, this will be a long and bumpy ride for us, that property management, so long as they continue to be passive and inconsiderate of our occupancy in this property. We didn't stand for this disregard for our family and the military, no matter what the person's rank position, and it definitely won't be tolerated or entertained by any civilian, regardless of position. More entries to follow. Well, that's very military. I definitely recognize that tone of voice. All right. So, what do you think,
hmm.
Paul, of Atia?
Well, Atia, a couple of things here. So you haven't posted any pictures, which you can with reviews, so I don't see that. Is one. The other thing is now with move-ins, right? We always experience this, and again, Albert, I'm sure
Oh boy.
you'll understand what I'm saying. Is
Oh
it
yeah.
was always a scramble
Mm-hmm.
to get things done. Um, Eventually, it was fixed, right? Because we all kind of banded together and we took more control of that process because before we didn't have much control.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if a refresh clean is needed for the property, it should be scheduled um, at least, 3 days before moving,
Mm-hmm.
2 days maximum. You know, um, it shouldn't be last minute. It shouldn't be a scramble. Um, Obviously, I don't know why it was filthy. Again, no pictures are provided. Um, Maybe it was clean based on property management standards. It could be.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the tenants have just had their opinion saying it is filthy in their opinion. Could be one. Um, Now, they're talking about, they mentioned, because this is long, right? So I'm trying to go through different sections of this review. Um, Communication part, yeah, definitely the property management company are failing there where they're not answering the phone and
Mm-hmm.
they're trying to get someone on the phone. That makes the tenant more upset. So you're better off speaking to them straight away. Even though they're upset, having that communication does calm them down, and lets them know that you care and you are trying to resolve those issues and you just need some time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Instead, it looks like this property management company they're choosing to ignore, right? Which I've seen as the classic tactic when things aren't going well is just, oh, don't answer them or don't respond to their email, don't respond to the text message, don't pick up the phone if it's their number. And to the tenant out there, they'll have your number saved and they'll see it on the screen and it goes round to all the staff and they just
Mm-hmm.
look at it and ignore it. Because I've seen it before, it's happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
So don't think they didn't know who was calling. Say knew your number. If you were a problematic tenant for them, in their opinion, they would save your number. It would be named, and they would just ignore your call. They'd let it go to voicemail. Um, are owners satisfied with making a profit? Yes, of course. That's why they hire a property management company for the sole purpose of profit. Less spending, more profit. That's what they want. And all these property management websites recommend homeowners how to save money. Oh, you can save money by buying your own tin of paint,
Mm-hmm.
your own paint cans. Oh, paint the whole house white because it's cheaper, right? So there it is all about making profit. Regards to quality of life, well, there is laws for that. Um, and there's certain things that by law a homeowner has to do, and there's certain things that they don't have to do. And it's just like it's not mandatory for them to do it. It's more of a perk, and it's based on the homeowner's decision if they want to do that. Again, it's not detailed enough for me to understand like what exactly is the problem. It just feels like a big rant. They're saying bad business practices. I don't know what that is, what that entails, what it means. I mean, they've just moved into a house that wasn't clean. I think it's just been maybe a mistake with the property management company. It could be that the homeowner wanted to send their own cleaner and the cleaner just didn't do a good job. I think this review comes from the frustration of the property management company not answering the phone and just not communicating. And then when they did speak to someone, they're saying the arrogance to the condition of the property. I don't know what they explained. They could have said, oh, unfortunately, the homeowner is not pursuing with certain things they've asked for. And every property management company has to comply with the law. And if you feel they're not complying with the law, then my only advice to anybody is get yourself an attorney and ask them if they're complying with the law or not. They'll be able to advise you a lot better. That's my take there. But Albert, what's your thoughts?
Okay, no, I get a bunch from this. Actually, because I'm a veteran, so I can relate to the military mentality. So in the military, there's one standard for housing, and the civilian standard is obviously a little different. So in the military, you do have a chain of command where you can complain and people get reprimanded and you get stuff fixed sometimes. But yeah, there's a chain of command. In this case, Atia signed her lease agreement, which kind of like put you in this mess. So signing the lease agreement is what it says. It's an agreement. So unless the property is uninhabitable, you're just kind of stuck in it. So you have to prove legally that it is uninhabitable. Like in our previous ones, where mold or something else was found that made the place unsafe. So yeah, this sounds like a big misunderstanding from military standards and civilian standards. And not saying all the military standards are higher, because I've been in places where they're just like they don't really care. But yeah, in some places, yeah, maybe Virginia or other places, they do have pretty high standards. And to move out, you have to put this place back into those standards, or else they won't let you go. You can't go to another base until you restore the place to the way it was. Which I had a really bad experience. Like when I was in Hawaii, it actually took like 2 months, just like deep cleaning and painting, and until the inspector went in and okay, yeah, I think this passes now. Really, do you? After 2 months, I spent all this money and I can finally turn this place in now. So yeah, in that case, the military standard was higher. So yeah, it definitely sounds like this is the case here. But there's a lease agreement, so sorry, Atia. Yeah, you're stuck in this little roller coaster of a homeowner just making money because it is a business for them. So that's it.
Yeah, when someone asks me that question, like, "Oh, the homeowner is just interested in profit," well,
Yeah.
yeah, yes,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yes. I mean,
Didn't I worry about you?
of course they are. Like that's why they rent their property out,
Mm-hmm.
so someone can live there, and
Yeah.
that's why, like you said, Albert, there's a lease agreement there because there's a certain sections of rules that you have to comply.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I say to any tenants out there, any potential tenants, and you're out there trying to rent with property management companies, read your lease agreement. Read it from back to front.
Before signing.
Take your time before signing on that dotted line, because once you do, it's legally bound,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
right? So, and these documents are professionally drafted up,
Mm-hmm.
and they are looked over by attorneys before they're sent out, or before they're sent out to the public. So, again, I can only advise that. Now, I'm going to actually give this point to the property management company only because I felt it was more of a rant than actual like precise details. When I think I don't want to misquote her here, so I'm just gonna. And bad business practices. I don't know. There was no like more details about that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, what bad business practices? You haven't went into detail what they are.
Yeah, no pictures.
So, and there's no pictures. So I just think you went on a rant. The part about obviously the property management company being non-responsive.
Okay.
I don't know why. Maybe you were abusive over the phone.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you were shouting at them. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know. Again, I'm speculating, right? Again, I'm only reading text. So I just feel it should have been a bit more detailed. I felt you were going on a rant more than why is it 1 star? Like, what examples are there that there's bad business practices, or what, just because when you moved in the place wasn't clean?
Mm-hmm.
There could have been a number of reasons why that never happened.
Yeah.
It might have not even been the property management company's fault. So
There could have been a
yeah,
repair.
there could have been a repair. Many reasons, but
Mm-hmm.
I felt instead of you ranting, you should have kept to the points why you're posting a bad review.
Right.
And that goes out to any tenants out there. Don't go on these stupid rants about the industry when you've never worked in the industry before and you probably don't understand it.
Mm-hmm.
I think when you're posting a bad review, you should say, the reason I'm posting this 1 star review is because of the following, right? And then put your points why,
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Back it up.
right? And back up why you feel they are a 1 star service.
Mm-hmm.
So going on a rant is just not,
It's not gonna solve anything.
that's not going to solve anything, no. So yeah, I'm giving a point to property management company
Mm-hmm.
there.
Yeah. Same
What
here.
about you?
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Okay.
All right.
So I'm going to go ahead.
You got lucky. Yeah.
Uh,
Next one's pretty short.
Go a short one next.
Yeah, you did.
Um, okay, this is from Marcus. So dealing with the leasing agent, Elena, has been one of the worst customer service experiences I've had. I'm taken aback at the lack of effort. I attempted to get in touch with somebody that could help since Elena seemed to be intentionally useless. To Escalation, submitted, zero response.
That's to the point.
And they're saying this review is for
That person.
property management company,
Mm-hmm.
specifically for Elena.
All right.
Okay, Albert. So
Yeah.
what's your take here?
So they did say escalations. So I think they got that word actually from the property management company. So that does sound like a operations director issue. Just get it. It's gotten escalated. So it's probably not even Elena's fault. It's probably her superior who's trying to work through that escalation. So I think there could be a little bit more communication there. But yeah, it sounds like there's two escalations and there's something definitely complicated there. Of course, they didn't say what or why but yeah, there could be a lot of situations there.
Yeah, I'm looking at this and I say, well, Elena is obviously the face, right?
Mm-hmm, right.
But behind Elena or behind the scenes is other people that might be able to resolve the issue. But again, I feel it's not enough information.
No, it's too little.
It's he's saying he's taken aback at the lack of effort. Well, I'm taken aback by your lack of effort on this review.
To explain it, yeah.
Like, it's not explaining it enough. Why have you escalated? And
2 times.
why was Elena the worst customer service experience? Just because you attempted to get in touch with her and you said that she's useless? Well, why is she useless? What did she do, Marcus, to aggravate you so much? So again, it's just, there's not enough to go here for me to say, oh, Elena's not a good leasing agent. Like, leasing agents are very busy. Let me just put that out there. They're
super busy.
They're super busy, and you're actually saying that she did respond, but then you're saying lack of effort on what? You probably had a question that she couldn't answer, or it was something deeper that it was above Elena's title. So I do think, Albert, you're onto something there. I think if it was escalated, it's been escalated to upper management and they just fell asleep and they've not paid attention. So yeah, I don't think Elena deserved a 1-star here. So again, I think point to property management.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, I can just imagine that. Yeah, poor Elena. But the word escalated is beyond her. So she's trying to do a follow-up and it's probably not going quick enough. But yeah, unfortunately, she's just right there in front of it. So, okay.
Yep.
1 point for the property management there.